Hello again, fellow YouTubers. Some pleasant back for another card fight deck profile. And this week we've got my Kagero deck. Now you might have heard from my clans review that I had a Kagero deck at one point and I got rid of it. Well, I found a new build, built it, and it works pretty well. So I call this deck the Embodiment of Flame, and you're gonna kind of see why. So, let's just get started. So we got our grade 1, which is Lizard Soldier Conroe, and he's pretty much one of the only stars for Kagero. I know there's a new one where it's the grade 3 Searcher, and then there's some other starters, but this is the main starter everybody uses. Blech. Counterblast 1, put to the drop zone, search your deck for grade 1 or less, and put it into your hand. And this card really helps with my deck build of Kagero, just because you'll see in a minute. We got Bip. What are you doing here? Get out of there. We run 4 Gatling Claw Dragons. And the reason I run Gatling Claws, because, well, first, he's an awesome draw trigger. Second, he's a draw trigger that's useful. And third, he is part of our deck build-up. So, I'll show you what that is in a second, and another little special thing he does is, if I haven't already used him for something else, I can Counterblast 1, put him to the soul, and retire a grade 0. So, say someone's got, like, a top 5 grade 3 Searcher, another Conroe, or something like that, or just a grade 0 that does something, I can be like, hey, it's sniped now, and you can't do it. So, he's nice for shenanigans. I run 4, what is it? Demonic Dragon Mage Rakisha, or the Middle Finger Critical, as I like to call it, because he's just flipping me off the whole time. And this deck runs more criticals than it does anything else, and between this and Drago Kid, I just felt like, he has the option of getting +3 if something's retired and he's on the field, so if I have nothing else, I can throw him there. And also, I just like him better. He's just more fun to mess with and be like, hey, Middle Finger Guard. It's like, yeah, there it is. There it is. So, anyway, moving on. Run 4 Embodiment of Spear Tars, and he's in here because of how the deck runs. That's why he's here, otherwise I'd be having Draco Kid, but yeah, he's in there for the deck. So there's that. Again, you'll see what it is in a minute or so. And finally, 4 Dragon Monk Genjo heal triggers. Self-explanatory, you need heals. Moving on to grade 1s. I run 3 Demonic Dragon Mage Kimnaras. Now, Kimnara is a really good card. What he does is Counterblast 1, put him into the soul. If you have a Kagero Vanguard, choose up to one of your opponent's grade 1 rearguards and retire it. So for this deck build, that really works because I need stuff in the soul and I need to snipe things. So he's really good, and he was a pain to get. So it's nice to have him in the deck. I run 4 Dragon Monk Gojos, and honestly, I'm substituting one of these for a P-Guard. If I ever get it, I'm going to take one of these guys out. But until then, he's fine where he is. You'll never see me with a Kagero P-Guard, though, because those things are incredibly difficult to get. He's the simple, rest, drop a card, draw a card. Actually kind of useful for this deck if I can't get everything off. So there's that. I run 4 Iron-Tail Dragons, so you're probably thinking, okay, he runs Gatling Claw and Iron-Tail, he must run the Blazing Flare Ride Chain because nobody uses Iron-Tail otherwise, and he's there for the Ride Chain. Pretty simple. And also, he does have a special. Sometimes I use his Counterblast, get +1, sometimes that works. For Embodiment of Armor Bar, so if you can tell, Tar and Bar, well gee, he must also run the Alif Ride Chain. And, yeah, I do. And also Bar's an 8K Beat Stick, which is pretty good. Self-explanatory. On to grade 2s. I run 3 Flame Edge Dragons. Useful for Blazing Flare's ability when I need to soul charge something, so when And he's also good for defense, so gives my opponent something else to hit besides my Vanguard. So he does really well in this deck. He really does. I took him out for a little bit, then I'm like, you know, this guy's needed, so I put him back in. Let me just rearrange some things. I run 4 Blazing Core Dragons, and this is the grade 2 ride chain, basically. And his skill is Counterblast 1. When he's on Vanguard, I can put a copy of Iron-Tail Dragon into the Soul, and Gatling Claw Dragon into the Soul, and Superior Ride Blazing Flare. So he's one of my Superior Rides, and he does pretty well. And for my other Superior Ride, we've got Dragon Knight Alif. Does the exact same, but with Bar and Tar, to get Embodiment of Victory Alif. So this deck basically focuses on superior riding like heck. This deck pretty much based itself on superior rides. For grade 3s, I got 3 Embodiment of Victory Alifs. Now I run 3 just because if I ran 4 of each of the ride chain, I would only have 10k grade 3s. And I need to call some grade 3s to rearguard too, because my grade 2 lineup is all 9ks. So that doesn't necessarily help me. So I need to call some stuff to rearguard too. But it's nice to call these a rearguard every now and then. And what this guy does, the Diablo Buster as I like to call it, you Soul Blast specific cards Dragon Knife Alif, Embodiment of Armor Bar, and Embodiment of Spear Tar, and you get to unflip all your damage. Which does really well, because say I have like 5 unflipped damage, I can be like, well, I superior rode to this guy. Either Counterblast like heck for Kimnara or Iron-Tail over there. Basically, for him, I can give him +5 and then he's a extra beat stick. Do that, and now I have all 5 damage back. He also has this skill where Counterblast 4, you get +3 in a crit, so that's the Diablo Buster. Soul Blast, unflip, Counterblast again. Self-explanatory. Next, I run 3 Blazing Flare. Again, I don't want to run 4 of each, because I think that would be too much then. I think it would just be too much. What Blazing Flare does is really special, and it's more focused around him than Alif, but Alif is still pretty good. When an opponent's rearguard is retired during the main phase, get +3 until the end of the turn. So do that with Kimnara, and you got an extra +3. He also has a Soul Blast 5 retire rearguard, which is pretty awesome actually. And also that art is just awesome. Look at that. And finally, run 2 Dragonic Overlords, because I need some 11k beat sticks in here. And also, his effect can go off sometimes with Alif. I can be like, oh hey, Counterblast 3, Alif, and now I have all my damage back, but Overlord used to be really awesome, now he's just somewhat awesome because the rules were changed from you get a Twin Drive to you only get 1 check now. But it's Overlord, Counterblast 3, get +5 to the end of the turn, and auto when this unit attack hits an opponent's rearguard, stand it, and it loses Twin Drive. Unfortunately now, they made it so that he never gets Twin Drive if you activate this skill. Sucks. But he's still an 11k beat stick, which is pretty good. So that is my quick Kagero deck profile of Embodiment of Flame. And you can kind of see why. That is called that. So, I've got nothing else to say here. This has been Some Pleasant, signing off.